Let's start this by looking at Dixie first here, guys. This is actually, I didn't take a look at the market. I'm still in gold swings here. But we can kind of see what's been going on here with the markets. There's been a lot of stuff, a lot of rumors that I want to address as well with what's going on with the Trump administration recently that I was researching. And I think it could be one of the reasons why gold is going up specifically. But this is just what I'm doing, guys. You can do whatever you guys would like. Obviously, right now on external structure, Dixie right here is breaking lows, moving into the downside, and we're still stuck in this structural zone. Okay, moving downward. Now, what I do believe is this. Let's go over here to Forex Factory. Let's take a look at some of the moves today. Okay, so we have ISM manufacturing PMI here coming out better than expected. Expectations are better than expected. So what does that mean? That gives us a bit of a market directional bias for today. And that means, hey, look, we could be bullish for today. Okay. That news comes out here in about a solid 20 minutes. Okay. So let's see how markets are setting themselves up for this specifically. But if the expectations are good and the news is good, we should see some sort of rallies here with all assets. Let's look at tomorrow. Jolt's job opening. Okay, Jolt's job opening is also coming out. Actually, the expectation forecast is lower than expected. I mean, the job market's been taking a hit recently, so I mean, that's pretty normal. CPI for CHF, big news. ADP non-farm employment change. Okay. Wow. The expectation's lower than expected. That isn't good. That is not good here. Because, obviously ADP non-farm employment change gives us a little bit of an idea of where markets are heading or what's going to happen with NFP. And remember, NFP is crucially, if not one of the biggest news of the month. Unemployment claims as well, a little bit higher than expected. I could only assume NFP is coming out. Oh, this is actually really good. A little bit better than expected. Now, I'm not saying that this is really good, like it's good news here. These numbers are actually really low. Okay. But the reason why this is actually, most likely, if the numbers are here, gonna make the markets head to the upside is because we're still gonna have that rate cut. With that rate cut, it's going to push, obviously, markets to the upside here. And obviously, with expectations, we have more rate cuts coming in. So, I'm looking at this here to move to the downside with this most recent pullback here as we continue to make these lower lows. It does look like a bit of order flow. I'm not going to lie to you guys, which is what I don't like. It does look like some order flow here, but I think we're going to move past 96, and if we break, probably down to 95 here, and then move to the upside. Wow, SPX. Whoa. Okay, so SPX is dumping today. I've avoided markets yesterday. I didn't trade because it was Labor Day. I did call some buys here to the upside, and then I just said, hey guys, TP at this zone here. Let me look at gold here real quick before I look at anything else. Oh, okay. Okay, so what am I looking at with SPX now? Now that SPX is all profits have been hit, all profits have been taken. What I'm looking for here with SPX is not another buy, but it's doing exactly what it needs to do. It needs to make that pullback here. Okay, so what am I looking for specifically? Well, we knew that this gap here was going to get filled somewhere around this area. Okay, and I did talk about this zone here for a pullback. Right now, in external structure, we're still respecting this zone here, which is great. This is actually solid. And if you really want to look at it, we've mitigated this zone here, this order block. Okay. What am I looking at? If ISM manufacturing comes out better than expected, we can expect this just to be a smaller pullback for an extension to the upside here. The previous extension would hit the 1.27, right? Hit that institutional number of 6,500. Huge sell-off, okay? What I can expect is if ISM manufacturing, okay, comes out better than expected, then what my game plan would be is to buy this back up, okay? And take profit in these zones here, because these zones can actually create more sell-offs on internal structure. This would be an internal sell, and this is where I would look for some internal structural sells, okay? This is what I'm doing, guys. Okay, you can even refine this even lower. All right, so from that, and if ISM manufacturing is great, I could expect prices to move to the upside, move to here and here, and then expect some sort of pullback to either extend to the upside or extend to the lower downside here. If ISM manufacturing is worse than expected, I can expect a break. And if I do see a break, we can expect a break of external structure. Does that make sense? So if we get a break of external structure, that could be kind of bad here, okay? Because this area right here is the pullback of this last impulse move. If we have a break, price could easily come back down to 6,200. And we're talking about on SPX, a huge dump, 2 to 3%. Might not seem like a lot, but it is a lot considering the fact that we could look at other alts and other I would say indices and see a significantly bigger drop here, which is what we don't want to see. Okay, we don't want to see that. So we want ISM manufacturing on our side. Okay, let's look at Russell. We don't really need to look at Russell. Nas is kind of in that same zone here, right? In that buying zone. Russell kind of in the same zone right there we talked about, right? A lot of this was overvalued anyway, so this is actually good news. This is really good here because a lot of this was overvalued, right? Let's look at VIX right now. Ooh, volatility is skyrocketing right now. Not good for SPX, not good. The question is, will this volatility index mitigate? Will volatility mitigate and then shoot lower is the real question. Because this could just be a pullback for a massive, massive run to the upside here, you know? Let's look at the 10-year bond market. Okay, bonds are still moving downward. Or the 10-year yield is what I'm saying. It's still moving downward, which is good. This is interesting. Okay, so the government 10-year yields are still moving to the downside, which is still bullish movement. This is still good. Unless we have a break, I would say, on the 10-year yield, I'm still very, very bullish on markets here. The 10-year yield usually tends to be bullish when obviously markets are in hysteria right now, and right now it looks like we're still bearish here. So this is good news here. Gold, let's look at gold here. I am up right now, as you guys can see. Let me look at this here. I'm up about $3,000. What is it? 3,000. I'm about $3,500. I'm up right now on these positions. Yeah, 3,500. It's just 3,500 bucks right now on these positions on gold buys. From 33.30 is where my buys are. 33.30. So that's like right here, guys. Right here. I have buys that I'm still in profit of about 15,000 points or 1,500 pips in profit. that I've still been holding from buys down here. So I did call some buys here, called buys here. So we're 1,500 pips in profit. I didn't call buys here. I know some people in our group got some buys here, but I knew that price was going to come right back around this zone. Since then, it's been difficult because gold hasn't given us a pullback. Okay, so in times like that, guys, what we need to focus on is not trying to trace the trade here. You know, obviously, gold went to the zone here that I predicted. 3,500 got hit. I predicted, if you guys look at the old recordings, I predicted 3,500 to get hit back here in April. Okay, I predicted 3,500 to get hit back here in May. So we're finally there, and it's great. You know, so what I'm still looking at, guys, is the gold run isn't over yet. And one of the things that I do predict, and it could be a real, is I predict that we're going to go to 3,600 still. Okay, that's my aim. But we need to have a really solid pullback before that happens. So a nice solid pullback will give us all the opportunity to be able to eat again on this and swing trade it to the upside, and then intraday trade it as well. Right now on an intraday trade, this is dangerous. Okay, gold is not really that friendly right now for an intraday trading. The reason why is because the pullbacks are very, very tight, and I do not like trading tight pullbacks. Not only are the pullbacks very tight, the Asian range are following within each other. Okay, that means the previous Asian range, no, the current Asian range is within the range of the previous Asian range. I do not like that. Okay, everybody knows here that part of my strategy here is to look at the Asian range when it comes to intraday trading. But when the Asian range, okay, aligns with the previous Asian range, it's not necessarily the most, I would say, best thing for us, because it means a lot of volatility is on its way, number one. But number two, okay, it means that gold is consolidating, and you do not want to be trading gold when it's consolidating. It's not really worth your time. Okay, I don't think a pullback is coming yet with gold. The only way that I believe a pullback would come is here. If we break external structure here, then we need to look for a pullback. Where can that pullback take us? Okay, where would that pullback come, John? Well, my thoughts are here. If gold can make it back here, what I'm personally doing is I'm buying. I'm buying here in this institutional zone. I'm gonna try to delete some of these guys because we're already in these. Okay, like these were wick crazy entries. Okay, I mean, I was there with you guys when I made $7,000 on this buy. I think it was this buy or it was this buy. Okay, I should be up right now $15,000 to $25,000, but I actually wasn't able to get pullbacks with gold, which was the most difficult part, because the great thing about this buy here that I had in July was we had enough pullbacks where we could stack orders. So when we had an impulse move, we had a correction, I would stack. Impulse, correction, I would stack. Impulse, correction, I would stack. And then impulse up to this side here. That's why I was able to compound to $7,000 to $10,000. It's because on that trade, it's because we had such a good pullback and we stacked, right? And I would stack on the pullbacks massively. The problem here was there was no pullback. It just ran. And sometimes gold does that, which sucks because I'm not a very, very high risk trader. I'm somewhat a low risk trader, and I like to stack orders. So the one opportunity for me to stack, it didn't really give me an opportunity during New York. It was during Asian session, and then it ran. Which is why I'm like, nah, I'm like, whatever about this trade here. But I do believe we're gonna pull back. Even looking at the daily, there is two zones that I'm looking at the most here. And one zone that speaks out the most to me more than anything is going to be this zone here. It's going to be the 34.18 and the 3,400 area. That area, I could see us fall back within that zone. Another area that I see us potentially falling back into, that I could see some potential here, is this zone here. 3450 area. That's an institutional number and also an institutional zone. I could see us falling back there and then it's continuing some sort of rally here as we continue to break all-time highs. The problem here is, guys, now that we've broken daily highs, gold is at all-time highs. There's no unit of measure previously. Like, this is the all-time high for gold. So what I'm looking at with gold, because this is the all-time high, all I can do right now is just measure previous extension levels. So that's why 3,600 for me is the goal. I'm looking for that pullback so I could stack at least 2 or 3 or 4 more orders here. That way we can move it to the upside here. Okay, so that is kind of my perspective here with gold and what I'm going to be doing here personally with gold. I don't know if that pullback is going to come or if it's just going to go to 3,600. One thing that I think a lot of people are looking at online, which is interesting, you know, I'm looking at this right now, is Trump's announcement here today. A lot of people have been saying that Trump is like dying. There's a lot of rumors going around that Donald Trump's health issues are really, really bad. It makes me sad because I actually really do like Trump, to be honest. I think he's really helping the country out financially. But there's a lot of rumors that Trump's health is declining, and there's a lot of speculation for this. I could believe that this is one of the reasons why gold is skyrocketing. I personally don't know. Maybe it's just a hoax. I'm not too sure. There's some health rumors, though. I do know that. So I just don't know. My theory is that, you know, potentially there's something going on there. If the health rumors are true and, you know, God forbid something happens with the president where he needs to just step down for health reasons, okay, gold will most likely go to 3,600, okay, and it'll create a massive wick and then probably pull back from there. Okay, let's look at some of these other pairs here. Let's look at Bitcoin, and then I do have to run, guys. This is going to be a quick session. Okay, what am I looking at here with Bitcoin? Let's look at my positioning right now. Okay, this is the thing with Bitcoin. This is, I would say, the one thing that makes me worried about Bitcoin. It's still breaking low structure, dude. Like, and I really do not like that. Let's look at the 2-day. The 2-day looks good. The weekly looks okay. Well, technically, this is the pullback. Technically, this is the low of the pullback of the previous structure. Okay. There's two things that I think could happen. Okay, this is not internal cells, this is external cells. Alright guys, I do have to run here. I am liking this, I'm not gonna lie, I do like this a bit. Because it didn't break this here. It didn't. We could see a sell-off here. if we close above here, we're going to start buying Bitcoin. Okay? We close above here, we're going to look for a pullback around this zone, and then we're going to start buying. At least that's what I'm going to start doing. If not, Bitcoin's going to mitigate, and it's going to create a lower low and come back to 106. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I will talk to y'all soon. Gold right now isn't really doing anything. It's not really worth chasing. GU, I was looking at a re-entry in GU. GU are just dumped like a crazy amount right now. Wow. And GU is actually back at this indecision here that I marked up when was this? A couple weeks ago, August 6th. That actually looks really good. Okay. This markup here was actually really good, but wow. GU came back to that indecision and just skyrocketed. I don't know what GU news came out here. GU looks like a good scalp to the upside here. This broke the average daily range. When the average daily range breaks like that, it's not really good. USD CAD. Hold. Missed. This is an old trade. The CAD break structure is my opinion. No, it didn't break structure. Let's look at MSRT is still setting itself up. Nvidia is looking good. I'm trying to find a good setup for you guys right now here. I mean, SPX doesn't look terrible. Oh, it's news right now. That's why. News just hit. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. I do have to run, and I will talk to y'all soon. Peace.